Look at this meter. This is what happens to your budget when you run a live AI workshop without a safety net. Put 15 developers in a room for a 2-hour Drupal AI training session, and every time someone hits generate, an API call fires. You can easily spend hundreds of dollars before anyone even notices. Today, we are going to build a fully functional, disposable Drupal AI sandbox in under 5 minutes, and it will cost you exactly $0. To do this, you only need the Google Chrome browser. You don't need a credit card, you don't need to generate any API keys, and you definitely don't need to configure a local server. When you remove the financial fear of making a mistake, your team can actually click around, test configurations, and truly learn how these AI systems work. Step 1 is getting our environment. We'll start by navigating to Drupal Forge, which is a community-backed launchpad for AI training environments. On screen, you can see the Drupal Forge template library. We are looking for these two specific setups, the Chrome Prompt API template for local testing, or the Canvas AI template to practice with cloud models. When you click Launch on either of these, the platform provisions a fully working Drupal site in under 5 seconds. As soon as the site loads, all the necessary core AI modules are already installed, configured, and ready to use immediately. Think about the traditional approach. You would spend half the workshop getting everyone's local server running and troubleshooting module dependencies. Now, that entire process is skipped. These setups are called disposable environments. They are isolated instances used for a single learning session and then completely discarded, with zero impact on your production infrastructure. By using instant disposable setups, you eliminate onboarding friction entirely. As an instructor, you get to focus on teaching the curriculum instead of providing IT support. The fastest way to drain your budget is by routing basic, repetitive demo tasks through expensive flagship models like GPT-4o. To fix this, go into your Drupal CMS AI module settings so we can manually override those default high-tier models. From the Model Selection dropdown, choose Gemini Nano as your active model. In Sovereign AI, data moves from the Drupal interface into your local machine, bouncing off an internal shield. Gemini Nano runs inside your browser, never pinging an external API. Because data never leaves the device, your total cost is exactly $0. If your lesson requires a cloud model, you will use the Drupal Canvas AI template instead. Look at this magnified settings dashboard. It comes with a hard-coded, locked input field, capping your API spend at $1. If a student accidentally hits that $1 cap, the lesson isn't over. Because the site is disposable, you just trash that instance and spin up a fresh one. You can prove the setup works right away. Upload an image to the AI OCR module and watch it generate alt text locally, confirming the system is active and routing correctly. When you combine Sovereign AI for local tasks with hard spending limits for cloud tasks, you turn a financial liability into a highly predictable, perfectly safe sandbox. Even with a safe sandbox, high-volume workshops introduce a scaling problem. Imagine 20 students constantly refreshing their screens and resending the exact same system prompts repeatedly. Every time they do that, they are transmitting heavy, static context, like module documentation or code-based structures. That repetition wastes a massive amount of input tokens. This is where prompt caching becomes an instructor's most valuable tool. Inside Drupal, navigate to your AI API provider settings and simply toggle the prompt caching feature to the on position. Behind the scenes, the system locks that heavy static context into a secure cache memory bank once. Then, students' API calls only transmit specific, lightweight, dynamic prompts, bypassing the heavy context. With smaller prompts flowing, your token expenses drop by up to 90%. An uncached flagship model will burn through a workshop budget in minutes. But if you pair caching with a budget tier model like DeepSeek v3.2, your token burn rate becomes incredibly efficient today. Mastering token efficiency through caching is the exact difference between a sustainable training program and one that gets shut down by the finance department. Let's review what we've built. You now have an isolated Drupal AI environment, routed to a zero-cost local model, fully protected by hard spending caps and token caching. This split screen shows the contrast perfectly. We moved from chaotic, expensive traditional training on the left to a sleek, financially controlled dashboard on the right. Once your team masters basic AI tasks in this controlled sandbox, they are ready for the next phase, agent-based automation. To teach that safely, you will use the Drupal CMS AI Agents testing framework. This framework allows developers to write and test AI agents locally using standard YAML files. It lets them verify complex agent behaviors without ever triggering a live API call. Successful AI adoption does not require an unlimited budget. It requires executing an intentional, cost-aware architecture from day one.